Hello and welcome to another lecture of the course Aquaculture. Today we are going to talk about fish feed ingredients and their proximate composition. We shall be discussing this lecture, this topic, in fact, fish feed ingredients and their proximate composition in two lectures. So, the first part we shall be starting now. Before going into the details of what are different fish feed ingredients, first we should know that what are feed ingredients. In fact, the ingredients or the components which are used to prepare the feed. Here, in case of fish feeds, the ingredients or the components which are being used to prepare fish feed. And when we are preparing fish feed, then we are going to prepare nutritionally balanced fish feed. So while selecting the nutrient ingredients, we should have to be very careful regarding many things. Ingredients are the basic raw materials of fish feeds that we have just discussed. No single feed ingredient is nutritionally complete and can supply the nutrients and energy required for growth of the fish. What happens that it's not that only one feed ingredient is enough. Say, for example, I have seen some of the fish farmers who just use either rice bran or wheat bran or maybe whatever else is available at their place. Maybe sometimes they will mix rice bran and wheat bran, or sometimes some of the oil cakes if they are having. So they are not taking care of the proportion, and they are not in fact aware of what are the nutrients which are being supplied by these ingredients which are present in the fish feed. So it's not that only one feed can, some feed ingredient can take care of the protein part, some feed ingredient even within the protein, some feed ingredient can take care of some of the essential amino acids, but there are certain feed ingredients which can take care of the all the essential amino acids. And there are certain feed ingredients which can take care of the oil requirement or fat requirement of the fish. Some can take care of the energy requirement, overall energy requirement of the fish. And there is still maybe some other ingredients which are required for supplying adequate quantity of vitamins, quantity as well as quality of vitamins, different kind of vitamins, minerals, etc. So it's not that only one feed ingredient. You will have to choose from a number of feed ingredients. So the choice of feed ingredient therefore ensures that they are not directly consumed by humans. In fact, if you are using the feed ingredient which are being directly consumed by humans, that means you are going to produce fish as human food, but you are taking food from humans to feed the fish. So ultimately, that becomes futile exercise. So try to select only those ingredients which are not being directly consumed by human beings. Therefore, a mixture of ingredients in a carefully formulated feed that we just talked about can provide balanced level of nutrients and energy what is required for the fish species. So, the first thing is we should know what is the requirement, different nutrient requirement of the fish species that we are going to culture. And then we should also know that how these requirements can be met by choosing carefully a variety of feed ingredients, and that too should not be directly consumed by human beings. So, and there are many other criteria, like they should be locally available, cheap, they must be available in abundant quantity at the desired time whenever you require those ingredients. So all these are criteria and many more characteristics that you can look forward to while choosing appropriate fish feed ingredients. Now, these fish feed ingredients have been classified broadly into three major categories on the basis of origin. You can say plant byproducts from the plant origin materials. Then two, byproducts of terrestrial and aquatic animal processing industries, or animal-based byproducts, you can say. Then single cell proteins can also be used. Fish feed ingredients can also be classified, alternatively they can be classified based on, whether they are in the category of protein rich or energy rich. Protein rich are those ingredients which are having more than 20% of crude protein. Those feed ingredients which are having more than 20% of crude protein, they are also referred to as protein rich feed ingredients, whereas those having less than 20% protein, they are kept into the category of energy rich feed ingredients. Now, come to plant byproducts which are used as fish feed ingredients. Major of them are in categories like oilseed meals, plant protein concentrates, cereal byproducts. Oilseed meals, they are probably the most important protein supplement of plant origin. And since we know that oil is being extracted from the oil seeds, and the remaining oil cake is a byproduct that can be utilized for a variety of, feeding a variety of animals, including fish. Oils may be mechanically expelled or extracted by using solvents. We have mechanical, expellers we are having, by which we extract oil, or you can use solvents also to extract oil. So, whatever your objective is, whatever the availability of particular kind of oil cake, or the use of oil you are having, depending on that, you can choose the method to either use expeller or using solvents. Most common oil meals are from soybean, cottonseed, canola, rapeseed, peanuts, sesame seeds, sunflower seeds, mustard seeds, and coconut. These are the common ones which you will find, usually find in the market. Soybean oilseed meal, one of the best protein sources from the plant ingredients for fish feed. It is the product obtained by grinding the cake and or chips which remain after removal of most of the oil from soybean. When we extract oil from the soybean, then the leftover, the byproduct, can be utilized to prepare it in a meal form. There are different methods and different varieties of these byproducts from soybean that is being used. Proximate composition of soybeans, soybean meal, and other soybean products as fed bases. We may have full fat soybean, dehulled soybean meal, non-dehulled soybean meal, extruded, expelled soybean meal, enzyme treated soybean meal, fermented soybean meal, soy protein concentrate, soy protein isolate. So, variety of byproducts you are having. Proximate composition is given here. The first one is showing dry matter. Second, crude protein. Crude protein, if you compare, in full fat soybean we are having 37.56, whereas in dehulled soybean meal we are having 47.73% protein. Then in non-dehulled soybean meal we are having 43.9% soybean meal, protein, and in extruded expelled soybean meal we are having 44.56 crude protein, whereas crude protein is 55.62 in enzyme treated soybean meal, and 54.07 crude protein in fermented soybean meal. In soy protein concentrate we are having crude protein 65.2, whereas in soy protein isolate we are having crude protein 84.78. So, in general you can say that soybean is a very good protein source for its inclusion in the fish feeds. Then about fat or oils, that is represented here in the form of ether extract. Full fat soybean if we are taking, then of course there will be higher ether extract, and dehulled 1.52 is quite low, and non-dehulled 1.24, extruded expelled 5.69, enzyme treated 1.82, fermented soybean meal 2.3, soy protein concentrate 1.05, and soy protein isolate 2.76. Now come to ash, which is representing the mineral portion, and here you can say full fat soybean is having 4.89, dehulled soybean meal 6.27, non-dehulled 6.38, extruded expelled soybean meal 5.7, and likewise almost similar or very close values are there for ash content. Groundnut or peanut meal, that is also very common. The kind of oils that are very popular, we can use the byproducts of those oil seeds, and groundnut is one of them. Is a ground product of shelled peanuts composed principally of the kernels with such portions of the hull or fiber and oil as may be left in the ordinary course of manufacture. So here the protein percentage is about 31.8%, and since they are in the category of protein rich ingredients, so we are mainly looking here for the protein content. Cottonseed meal, again the byproduct of finely grinding the flakes which remain after removal of most of the oil from cotton seed by solvent extraction process you can do. We have protein content of about 32.9%, that may vary in the varieties of these plant oil seeds, and the region where they are being grown. It depends on a number of factors that what will be the protein content and oil content, but on an average they will remain around what is reported here. Mustard meal is the product obtained by grinding the cake which remains after removal of some of the oil by mechanical extraction and removing most of the remaining oil by solvent extraction, obtained from the seeds of cultivated brassica species, the mustard plants. Here the protein content is 32.2%. Mustard oil cake is again one of the most popular ingredients in fish feed, especially in India, since here mustard is being widely consumed as a cooking oil in most parts, especially the northern parts of the country. So oil cake, mustard oil cake, groundnut oil cake, even cottonseed oil cake and all, they are being used very popularly. Rapeseed, again, I think this also belongs to the genus Brassica, obtained by grinding the cake which remains after removal of most of the oil by mechanical extraction of the seed from the rapeseed plant. Here the crude protein content is close to 35% almost. Then we have coconut meal. The process, the concept remains same. Here also what we do, is the ground residue, coconut meal is the ground residue which remains after removal of most of the oil from dried meat of the coconuts by a solvent extraction process. It may also be called as copra meal. And protein percent, crude protein percentage here reported is 21.5%. Then we have some other meals like safflower meals. Safflower meal is the ground residue obtained after extracting the oil from whole safflower seed by a solvent extraction process. Safflower meal is having quite good protein percentage, and that is about 42.7%. Sesame meal, sesame oil meal or sesame oil cake is the protein rich byproduct obtained after oil extraction and its residual oil content is high. Crude protein content here is 45%. Sunflower meal is obtained by grinding the residue remaining after extraction of most of the oil from whole sunflower seed by solvent extraction process, and crude protein here in case of sunflower meal is not as high as reported in some of the other plant oilseed meals that we have referred to in the previous slides. It's around 23.3%. Now, here in the table, the approximate composition of different oilseed meals has been shown. compiled in a table where you can have a look on which one is giving more protein, which one you need to include for what nutrient content. So, depending on that, you can see that the sesame oil meal, oilseed meal, that is having 45% protein. So, and 44.7, almost similar, is provided by soybean, and 42.7 is provided by safflower. So, these three, in fact, are providing very good protein content, and but you may also need to look on other factors depending on what kind of formulation you need to prepare for your candidate species. Plant protein concentrates, they can also be used as one of the ingredients. They are being used as one of the ingredients. Vegetable protein concentrates are processed, concentrated form of byproducts high in protein content. When we are preparing protein concentrate, that means the protein content will be high. There are several types of protein concentrates, and their composition highly varies with the processing method of processing that has been used. For example, soy protein concentrate we are having canola protein concentrate, we are having corn protein concentrate, we are also having potato protein concentrate, even rice protein concentrate we are having. So, it's simply which ingredient you are taking and what type of method you are using that will provide the appropriateness of that ingredient use in fish feed. Soy protein concentrate is prepared from high quality clean dehulled soybean seeds by removing most of the oil and water soluble non-protein constituents. So, when you are doing this, then of course the concentrated protein remains, and here you can see that the protein content compared to soybean oil cake, soybean oil seed meal that you have seen in the previous slide, here crude protein content is more, 59%. Canola protein concentrate, here protein concentrate is even higher. I told you that depends on many things, including the extraction procedure. 63% canola protein concentrate is having protein, is made from canola oil cake, the residue left after extracting oil from canola seeds. And then corn protein concentrate is a dried protein-rich fraction of corn that is made by removing non-protein components from wet milled corn. So, you simply remove non-protein components, and then of course the protein content is going to increase. In corn, which is rather energy rich ingredient when you are using the whole corn meal or something, here it is having 76.2% protein. So, that way a good source of protein. Potato protein concentrate, de-starched potato juice from which the proteinaceous fraction has been precipitated by thermal coagulation followed by dehydration. Crude protein you see here in potato protein concentrate, we are having crude protein percentage of 76%. Rice protein concentrate, so don't get confused with the ingredient in its original form, because here you are concentrating only one component, only one nutrient, so you are getting higher percentage. Rice protein concentrate is first cleaned and milled into rice flour and undergoes alkaline extraction. The proteins are then precipitated by adjusting the pH, causing them to separate from the solution. Enzymatic treatment is used to further purify the protein concentrate, removing non-protein components. Finally, the concentrate is dried to produce a fine powder. And here, rice protein concentrate has 69% of crude protein. Proximate composition of plant protein concentrates that we have just discussed, that has been compiled here, and here you can see that crude protein concentrate of the protein concentrate, soybean protein concentrate is having 59% protein, canola protein concentrate is having 63% crude protein, whereas corn protein concentrate is having 76.2% protein, potato protein concentrate 76% protein, and rice protein concentrate as 69% of protein. So, that way we can understand that how different ingredients are there. But while choosing the ingredient for your feed preparation, we must be careful on not only the protein but different other aspects like its digestibility, the availability, the um, protein efficiency, or you can say the what we call protein utilization, whether it is being utilized by the fish properly in converting into the biomass or not. So all these aspects should be taken into consideration before selecting any ingredient to prepare the fish feed. After that, cereal byproducts. Cereal byproducts are used in fish feed as a source of dietary energy. We have discussed the rice bran and wheat bran and many other cereals. They are used as a basically source of dietary energy. The processing of these grains produces many byproducts including bran, germ, husk, and broken kernels. And if you remember, such type of ingredients have been kept in energy-rich category, energy-rich ingredients, not in the protein-rich. Examples: dry distillers grains, corn gluten feed, corn gluten meal, rice bran, wheat middlings, etc. One by one, we can discuss them also. Dried distillers grains. Distillers grains are a cereal byproduct obtained after the removal of ethyl alcohol from by distillation from the yeast fermentation of a grain or a grain mixture by condensing and drying at least 3/4 of the solids of the resultant whole stillage by methods employed in the grain distilling industry. Crude protein here you can get more than 28.4%. Corn gluten meal, gluten feed rather, a byproduct of the wet milling of maize for the manufacture of corn starch or corn syrup. Here you can get the protein percentage of more than 24%. So, what form of energy rich and protein rich feed ingredients have been classified earlier, you have seen, but depending on what is the protein percentage in the prepared feed, depending on the same original source of ingredient may be classified into two different categories. For example, rice bran may be kept in energy rich, whereas rice protein concentrate can be kept in protein rich. So, depending on what is the composition, we classify those ingredients. So, don't get confused if the product of same original ingredient is kept into two categories. Corn gluten meal is the dried residue from corn after the larger part of the starch and germ have been removed and the bran separated by process employed in the wet milling manufacture of corn starch or syrup or by enzymatic treatment of the endosperm. Corn gluten meal may contain fermented corn extractives and or corn germ meal. Here protein percentage is quite high, 56.1%. Rice bran. Now, coming to the original ingredients which are very popular in semi-intensive aquaculture in India. Rice bran is the pericarp or bran layer and germ of the rice with only some quantity of hull fragments. Crude protein here is only 9%, but because of the overall energy content we use and availability of this ingredient in abundance, we often use this as one of the most important fish feed ingredients. Wheat bran is the coarse outer covering of the wheat berry. Sometimes screenings are ground and added to the bran. Crude protein is 10.8%. Wheat middlings, that has little higher protein content. Wheat middlings, also known as mill feed, wheat millrun or wheat midds, are the byproducts of the wheat milling process that are not used to make flour. They consist of fragments of the outer skins and particles of grain containing variable amounts of endosperm. This is a comparative chart of proximate composition of cereal byproducts that we have just discussed, that has been compiled into a tabular form here that you can go through. So, that's all in this lecture. Thank you so much.